Hello everybody, Todd here, Curator of Thrift, and I haven't come up with a title yet as I'm videoing this thing, filming it, but I'm trying to think maybe it's just probably going to be my worst experience at Goodwill to date. So, yesterday I was running around and doing some stuff and decided after lunch to go to Goodwill. And while I'm doing this, I'm actually going to be listening. I'm editing some things, so that's why you won't see me here doing this very much, looking at the camera. But anyway, I decided, as my usual self, to go to Goodwill and take advantage of some mileage. It's from part of my running around to be able to add it to my tax stuff. Anyway, so I can write off my mileage. So I go into Goodwill and I'm looking around and I happen to go look at some pictures, looked them up, put them back. I had been in the store for maybe about 30 minutes, 45 minutes at this point. Found a couple things. I found some shoes, put them in my cart, had some stuff in my cart. And of course, as always, I leave my cart and people try and grab the stuff out of my cart. And I have to tell them, hey, that's mine. But anyway, that isn't what this is about. So I look at these pictures. There was a set of 4, but they wanted $4.79 a piece for them. Way too much money. I would have paid $4.79 for the lot, but not for each, because they were Hawaiian print type stuff. They still had the original price tags from TJ Maxx on the back. But anyway, something I didn't want. I looked them up through Google Lens, couldn't find anything, so I put them back. And I remember moving some stuff around. Then I walked around there because it's like a high platform metal thing, and underneath they put some small furniture, chairs, stuff like that. On top they put other large, it's for their like larger items. I get around to the other side. I'm looking around a desk trying to decide if it's something I want to buy, which it wasn't because I really don't have anywhere to put it. Because if I did buy it, I would have sanded it down, restored it, and sold it. But I decided I didn't want it. So in the meantime, after that, I go over to the media section. Just, I look at some hats on the wall, go over to another area, and then I'm looking at media when one of the employees comes out with a cart with a bunch of stuff. So she always lets me look everything over. So we're talking and I'm looking stuff around. And then as we're talking, this gentleman, not much of one, and this is where I have to go with this. This guy comes over, asks a few things about some stuff on the cart. And then as I find a couple of things on the cart that I wanted to look up on eBay for sale, see if it's something I wanted to buy, I start feeling around for my phone. It's not in my jacket pocket, it's not in my front pocket, back pocket, not in my cart, nowhere. And in the middle of me doing this, gentleman disappears. Not a gentleman. So I'm like, great. So the employee starts helping me look around. I tell her where I've been. I said, I just used it like 5 minutes ago. Not even that, 2-3 minutes. And we're looking, nothing. Can't find it. Looked all over the shelves, underneath everything. It's the only 2-3 places I had been. Nowhere. Not on her cart, not in my cart, not on the shelves, nothing. Well, in the meantime, she lets me use her phone. I call my wife, tell her I have to have her call and cancel my debit card because I use a wallet case to hold like my driver's license, my debit card, and my Costco card, and I also have a medical card in it. So I call my wife, I just message her, tell her I'm calling from an employee's phone and somebody stole my phone from the store. I hang up the phone. Another customer overhears everything. I explain everything to her. She allows me to use, she's like, you need to cancel your debit card. So she lets me use her phone. I call B of A. I cancel my debit card. And everything's going. And then I pay for the pair of shoes that I bought, and it was a DVD. So I pay for those, and I leave, and I run over to the DMV, which is about half a mile away. Pay the $33 to have my driver's license replaced. I go back to Goodwill because I'm heading over to Verizon to have to deal with my phone. So I stop at Goodwill because it's on the way just to check, because it's been about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, maybe a little longer. And no, they hadn't, nobody found it, because I told them if they find it, just call me, let me know. Well, I leave, I go to Verizon, I make a phone call through the employee to put my claim in for stolen phone. And I wasn't able to pay for it because I can't think of what you call it, for the insurance claim, I had to pay out like $180 something. And I didn't have anything to pay for it. So it got put on hold. They sent me the email and I could continue it from my house through my computer. So I leave, I come home after about 45 minutes of dealing with that. I come home. I'm on my computer. I'm attempting to contact my brother through Google Meet, because we've talked that way before, to let him know if he calls me, he can't call me because I don't have my phone. In the meantime, I happen to look at my email and my wife sends me a message. I'll put that right here, that my phone's at Goodwill. Okay. So at this point, I'm like, really? Seriously? So there's only one of two things. One, he stole it. Or two, I just left it somewhere or dropped it and it got lost in the shelf or something. So I get my socks and shoes on because I had just changed my clothes from what I had on earlier in the day. I get in my truck. I drive over to the Goodwill. I go in and I talk to the lady who's an absolutely awesome employee there. And she proceeds to tell me he brought it back after I left. And I was like, really? She goes, yes. He's a regular customer. And he mentioned the other employee. I can't think of her name. But anyway, he mentioned that she knows him too, on top of, I guess, him being a regular. So I go find the other employee. She goes and gets my phone and brings it back out. And I go, he brought it back? And she goes, yeah, he felt bad about taking it and not saying anything and leaving. I said, yeah. I said, this is exactly what happened. As soon as I started looking for it, he disappeared. So he blatantly stole it, which doesn't make sense because phone's 2 years old. And other than him finding a way to have somebody unlock it, it didn't really do him any good. But he brought it back. So I can't really, other than saying, thank you for bringing my phone back, I don't really have anything to say, because at least I don't know how you can steal something and then your conscience bothers you and you return it. You shouldn't steal it in the first place. Conscience should bother you before that happens. But apparently people don't have those anymore. But anyway, so I got my phone back, and I don't know if anybody noticed that I had posted in the community part that I had lost my phone and wouldn't be making any videos until I got a phone. So here's my phone I'm using to record. And here is the back of my phone. This is what I use, and I actually take it off because what I'm using to hold my phone, it won't fit in with this. So as you can see, it holds my bank card, my Costco card, my now defunct driver's license, and a medical card. So with that, I can't say anything bad now because at least the guy returned it, and I can throw these into files and cut up my debit card and throw my driver's license into a file box where I usually put my old stuff. Anyway, I can't call this guy any names or anything because I can't. I just, the way I'm trained to look at society is totally different than most of the world. So, I have to look at things differently, mainly from scripture, Bible scripture. How many times should you forgive somebody? Up to 7 times? And Jesus replied, no, up to 77 times, which means you always forgive. So I can't say anything bad about this guy. I have to just wash it away because I got my phone back, and I'm okay with that. But it just stressed the crap out of me yesterday. This has never happened to me like this. So I was like running around with my head cut off, trying to get everything situated And I just was, I actually felt myself being kind of sick because this stuff doesn't happen to me. And now that it has, maybe I won't feel so sick about it when it happens the next time. But anyway, so that's what happened with my worst experience at Goodwill to date. Now, on top of that, during the whole trying to search it around for it while I was in the store initially, the employee who knew the guy had mentioned earlier that it had happened to somebody else in the store. So I'm going to say this. One, when it comes to your phones, when you're not using them, put them back in your pocket. Don't put them on a shelf. Don't put them on a bench. Don't put them on a counter. Don't put them anywhere. Put them back in your pocket. Put them back in your purse, whatever. So she had mentioned that another customer had sat down on a bench that used to be there, which is no longer there, probably to try on shoes or something. And she walked over and looked in a mirror. And in the meantime, she comes back. Purse is gone. Gone. Just up. Somebody walked off with it. So, and as I always tell people, the women in the mall, women in the store, women at the anywhere, don't walk away from your purse. Yes, it's right there in your cart. Keep that crap under your arm. I've seen too many videos where people have walked over, stolen phones out of it, stolen wallets out of it, stolen everything out of it, and the people literally do not see it until it's way too late. So cover your butt, put your phones away, keep your purse on you, and just try to avoid those problems from happening to you. And with that, I am done because I'm at over 12 minutes, and that's enough rambling about the worst experience at Goodwill. And it had nothing to do with what they're selling and their prices, even though that's an issue I don't really care to talk about because it is what it is. And with that, I say thank you if you got this far listening to me gab about this situation. I appreciate it. And if you want to know all my other stuff that I talk about and vlog about, which is mainly my sales and just other fun stuff, and then just showing my product that's just fun to share in my shorts, whatever. Check it out if you want to. If not, whatever, you don't have to. Comment below if you have anything you want to say about this situation. And also, if you haven't done so, please subscribe. Help my channel get up in the algorithm. Hit that like, give me a thumbs up. And I say thank you for getting this far. And with that, I am Todd, the curator of Thrift, and I am out. Happy hunting, everybody.